Are we working? Oh, wrong one. Yeah. I can't hear it, but I know it's there. Oh, it's already open, that's why. We'll close it, dang it. Good. Okay, so that's connected. And I can click this button and go live. And that should be connected. And that's it. We're good, right? What the fuck am I forgetting? Sound. Huawei. I think we're good. All right. I got a truck here. I got to get started on this eventually, which should be now. We're doing the whole thing. This is going to be very similar to yesterday's video, except we're doing a full windshield, and wow, cleaner overall. Did I do the other one? No, I didn't. This one. That's what I forgot. No, I don't want to do a puzzle. I want to activate, and there we go. Should be good. Hello. Good morning. Yeah. Not that cabinet. We want this sprayer, and then we want the other cabinet, because this is all getting apex. What do you think of the new baby shampoo? I don't think it's just gonna cause issues. The thing about, from what I understand about soaps, the big thing about dish soaps is they're a detergent. They're made to break things down. And even that, I don't think has really done anything up to this point. Or it's hard to confirm. So it's just not recommended to use. So I wouldn't just go out of my way to use something that's not recommended to use, is the way I would look at it. If a film company actually says don't use baby shampoo, then I wouldn't use baby shampoo. And that's really how I would look at all of this. If you ask any single one of them right now, I don't think I've heard any of them saying, no, you have to use our specific soaps. No, you have to use this. They have options for you to use, but I don't think it would prevent some type of a warranty. Okay, so I need 20. I got 70. And then we're also going to do 50. You stop sending stickers with orders. Yeah, yes and no. It's just we run out, and we had a bunch, and then we ran out, and then we haven't got more yet. So with that kind of stuff, it's always hard to say, oh yeah, I do need a 50, so I should probably keep this one. Okay, I got some film boxes here. 70, this one's almost out. This one's gonna go on the back. And then I got a new box that I may have to open up. And then, here, let's put this here. 20, that's gonna go on the car right now. I need a tape roll over here. I need some door cover. I have that. Let me get a tape roll. Use some ASMR. No, you gotta listen to my annoying voice. Such a great teacher. Thank you, I appreciate that. Have you ever tinted a 5th gen Subaru Outback windshield? I couldn't tell you generations specifically, but Subaru is very strict about their system. They've been very public that they want the safest collision avoidance system. They do not even want people putting Rain-X on the windshield. They don't want anything on the windshield. That being said, we have a very large community. People have tinted them. And there's a big difference between something not having a problem on day one and then actually, living with that vehicle. If you were to put anything in between the eyesight system and the windshield, so if you tint the windshield, even though a light shade, I just would never guarantee anything. Leave it up to the customer. It's their car. If they want to cover that, that's on them, not you. Um, 5% windshield strips are definitely a no-no. They will make the system not work. But there's a lot of gray in there. And you don't know what types of issues you might be causing. Like in broad daylight, it might be fine. And then you get, some inconsistent lighting, and then that system's not working the way that it's completely intended to. I don't know. You're dealing with safety systems that we don't really understand. So, anytime somebody's got a Subaru windshield with an eyesight system, we typically don't tint it. But that's just after that discussion. Like, if they want to do it, I'll do it. But just don't expect it to work exactly the same as it did before. But I can't guarantee what it's going to do. I'm not Subaru. I can't have any change on that. What tape are you using? We're using our Seal Guard tape. I need another towel. We gotta wash all the towels. I gotta take them home this weekend. I really need a wash over here. I was hoping to clean some of this shit up this morning, but I just haven't had the time. I had to change the fishy smelling DI filter and then clean out some other stuff. And the next thing you know, my appointment's here. What's the darkest you've ever done on a customer windshield? Do I really have to say? I've done 15. I wouldn't recommend it. But if people come here and ask, like, how dark do you tint windshields, we'll typically do as dark as 35. I don't recommend going any darker than that. Will gel dry if I don't squeegee it all out of the window? That's what some people are asking right now. I can't say on all of them. I've seen like one post that was kind of concerning. Like from what we know, some of them will leave a pretty heavy residue behind. So like it won't be apparent on day one. You can wipe down all around it. And then if you left any residue behind, which is very hard to tell if you did or not, it will not dry clear. It'll leave a powder residue all around where you tinted. So you just got to make sure you clean it up. OptiGlide and Instagel, which are the ones that I've mainly been using, I spray them on the glass boards, let them dry. They just dry completely clear. So I'm not worried about those. I was really concerned about Important when I saw that. I didn't think that was going to happen. So a lot of people use them. Again, it's kind of a community thing. If I saw people saying that they were having issues, I haven't seen that. So hopefully people are just being public if they do. Do you use a torch? I use a torch on the glass if I need to. And we'll see on this one. It would be pretty common to use it on a truck like this. When shrinking windshields, I get small fingers at the top corners I can't get rid of. You're not getting the heat gun close enough. Small fingers right against the top of the windshield. If you give it like a quick blast of heat and get like within an inch or two of that, they'll go away. You got the heat gun too far away. Tint shrinks really quickly in the center of the windshield, and then the farther out you go, the more and more film needs to be shrunk. And then it's sitting very close to the glass, and it just keeps some of that heat away from the finger. You just got to give it a really sharp blast of heat for like a second or two. I think that's why, like, I've really noticed as people shrink, if they, I don't want people to just like fry film, but like the hotter you let the glass get, the worse off the tint is gonna start to shrink. It's like everything that's there heats up, and then it just doesn't shrink the same. The tape is for dirty edges, so like, you see my hands already? Like, just look at that. So we're masking off the sides. And then we're also going to mask off the doors. Ha! I haven't seen a serious sticker in so long. All right, we'll keep this on this side. No, we'll bring it over to the other side. Mask that off when we're doing it. We'll start with cutting the doors. Do you know the legality of tinting headlights and taillights? You're not allowed to do it. If it's fun to do on a car, you're essentially not allowed to do it. Now, there's a gray area there where you could probably cover up some spots a little bit or do like a light thing. But yeah, if you're tinting, like your taillights have to be within a certain margin of red. So if you just cover them up with tint, it'll still shine through and do what they're supposed to do, but you'll definitely get a ticket for them. Are Challengers fairly easy to tint? Yeah, for the most part. On the newer ones that has a little strip on the rear deck. So you can remove the deck lid pretty easily. Like just put down the seats, some clips come out, and the whole thing comes back. Makes that back window far easier, even though it's a small back window. How long have you been tinting for? Since the housing market crash. (2008). I'm a dinosaur now. Damn, I was born in 04. My first videos were when I was like 20 years old. I was 6. Damn, you're fucking old. I remember. What's funny is that there wasn't a single day that I woke up and like, I feel older now. You still largely feel the same. You just get older. C2 Carbon or Pro Classic, is there much of a difference? I'm not trying to make you feel old, but oh, it's fine. There is a big difference between Pro Classic and C2 Carbon. The difference is the carbon. So Pro Classic is a really solid film. It's a dyed film, but it's a deep dyed, color stable film. Great film. Trying to buy a water wick? I don't know. You can just buy it off of Fusion if you want it. I'm not a big... So, I should just reorder them. I wasn't a big fan of them, though. They're like... They're thicker than I would have expected. And we used... Did we use this one? We might have used another one. Oh, no, here it is. This was with one use. It's splitting at the seams. It's just like a pillow. I like Fusion, but I don't like every product from Fusion. I was happy to see that they had something, and then I tried it, and then I just like, meh. I used one from a buddy. I enjoyed it. See, that's like, what the fuck? See, that's my own problem. There's quite a few products like that that I'm just like, it's just not really for me. And then there's people that are like, oh, I love that thing. I like Fusion. They've just been lagging behind a lot this entire year, and it's been really kind of frustrating working with them a little bit. So we've just had shit on order from them that took forever to get here. Is XR Prime 70% worth it? Prime 70. I don't know. I haven't used it. Shipping is so expensive. That's why I was trying to buy from you. You're slower than molasses. Molasses. Molasses still holding strong is slow. What, Fusion shipping's expensive? What do they charge for it? We have a braided soak rope that I like better. So I use those. That's in stock. That's also why I'm not really in a rush on Fusion. It's like, eh. I feel the same way about a few of the tools that they've put out. So like they had their orange bulldozer, and then the more I used it, I still like the OG white one better. Even like it better than the pink one too. They had their side edge tools. I think those were really rough and disappointing. That's why we don't carry them. Their handles are great. Their squeegee blades are awesome. And they have a few other things that are definitely really good. But I feel like some of these that they put out lately, it's like I can see why they have it. Shipping's $29. What the fuck? That makes no sense. Why is shipping $29? Yeah, no kidding. I wouldn't buy it. Some people like I'll say shipping is a tough cookie sometimes. Like you have your larger packages and you have your smaller ones, which is like, yeah, but it's based on weight. And yeah, kind of. You just have such a mix of shapes and sizes and varieties that it's really hard to set up your shipping in a way that accounts for everything. But Fusion stuff is mostly like that sounds like they're just planning for everybody to order the biggest handle that they have. Most of the products that they have are not that big. They could be in small box. $29 for shipping. Are you in Alaska though? Because if you're in Alaska, like yeah, Alaska's fucked. It's Alaska and Hawaii. They're like, why is shipping so expensive? And it's like, well, you fucking live on an island. Yes, you're part of the U.S., but are you really? Yes, but no. It's like Guam and all the other territories. Like, yeah, you're part of the U.S., but you're out there. Broke mine pulling it out of an f-250 dash. Oh, dang. That sucks. I did that with a rope. It like got hooked on the pillar. There's like one of the soak shield ones. Got hooked on the pillar and there was like no good way. Somebody asked how do I like the Meta glasses. They're actually really nice to have at work. I filmed like a ton of clips yesterday while I was just doing stuff. And it's just nice to just have a camera here. Anytime I have to like go out of my way to grab a phone and like put it on a neck mount and then send it over, footage over to my phone or whatever, it's like there's just extra steps and it's then stuff happens. So I've always felt like having a camera right here was really good. Hey Meta, what's the battery life? So I've been using the AI a little bit for like random questions. It's just nice to have kind of like a Google search right there. So they're really nifty for work, and I'm not going to use them outside of work. That doesn't need to be shrunk at all. Well, you don't need to be watching this either. But sometimes we just do things. Oh yeah, I taped that one. The amount of people that seem to get triggered over like, that doesn't need to be shrunk. It's just funny how often that happens. I like to though. Is that a problem? I would rather have a little curve on the bottom. So that's why I like to snap my doors. You'll see that all the time on windows that don't necessarily need it. But I like to. Is this your shop? It is. That's why I can snap them. Just ordered the rope. Do you want our like my used Fusion one? Here, I'll give it to you. I don't care. I don't know if you want a used one, but I don't want it, and it's just sitting here. So like, it's been used like one time. We'll just throw it in. Hey, there was an order that was just placed for a rope. Okay. Give him the rope that he ordered, and then throw this in there. And then throw a Detroit Tint Studio magnet or something in there. A t-shirt and a keychain. It just sits there. It's like that's how much I don't want it. But you'll see. You'll see those firsthand. You're welcome. Oh, what are you cooking in your aquarium? I'm trying to grow a baby windshield into a full size. I'm this is just I'm weird. I get really annoyed at film company claims about every window film. Maybe I'll send it back. If you ask for a fucking return label, you're banned. It's a free robe, you keep it. I want to send this back. No, I want a way to see if window film is going to fail. So, putting it on a car and waiting a number of years is just not fast enough. But I get asked about every film all the time. And I would like to know if like some of the really popular ones are going to be worth it or not. And that goes for Geo too. I know Geo firsthand. I don't have any reason to think that they're going to fail. But I want to figure out some type of a baseline to wear out a film early and then start comparing that against other films and just see like who's last the longest in the box. Because then we can start finding like, oh yeah, that film that we thought, you know, really cheap overall or whatever actually is perfectly fine. Or it'll last as long as these other ones do. It's just, I like that. I like being able to test things. Because every film manufacturer, people will say they're the same, other than the things that we can measure right away, like heat or UV with meters. It's like real world film failures are hard to track down. I'm getting my car tinted this Saturday. Should I do 5% all around or 15? Ooh. I can't answer that for you. There's plenty of people in chat that are going to say do 5, and people tend to appreciate going darker more than not because 5% most of the time is perfectly easy to see out of. That being said, I had 5 on my front doors for a total of 10 minutes. I would progressively get darker and darker. I had 35, then I went 20, and then I went 15, and then I'm like, I put 5 on the back, and I'm like, I like it on the back. And then I put it on my front doors, and I didn't even get out of the garage. I was like, no, I'm going to take this off. So it just depends on the person. What are you driving these days? I just turned in my lease. I was going to get a Model Y, but the EV credits went away and prices legitimately went up quite a lot. So the Model Y that I wanted to get, instead of being like $500 a month, was now like $830 a month. And I was like, ooh, no thank you. No, thank you. How do you go live on your glasses? We don't. I tried, though. They took it away from the Gen 2s, so there is no live streaming on them. But I did find an app somebody made, and I was able to get them to stream like this. What's comparable to the Fubid hybrid squeegee? I got a rough edge. I need to replace it, but you're sold. Are we... Can you check the hybrids really quick? Bebo, can you check the hybrids? Make sure they're in stock. They shouldn't be out of stock. We finally got them in. I don't know. So I just saw somebody in chat ask, so if it says they're in stock, then okay. Thank you. Hybrids are in stock. They weren't for a while, but we finally got them back in. We had been, dude. Oh, okay. That's fine. You should give out more stickers with orders. I know we should. Here. Oh, it was the PPF one. I couldn't tell you when we're gonna get those ones back. They sat for so long. Like I ordered them with my original Fusion order. And they have just like sat and sat. So like those were in the store for probably over like 3 years. A lot of PPF installers largely like the angled ones. Where are they? I gotta... I don't have this exact set, but they like this type of... like these. We have the Hornet, though. I think the Hornet's still in there. Just notice the f150, the seal is pretty far down. Do you make the film long enough to tuck the seal? Yeah, I try and go into the seal, but on an f150, they're pretty loose, so it doesn't matter as much. I'm loving the purple microfibers I ordered. Oh, nice. Glad you like them. I appreciate hearing that kind of stuff. Ooh, 70%. So we're doing 70 on the back. I don't really have a choice here. I have to do a 36. A 36 or a 40. They just don't have a 24. And this is like such a rare request. The live is so smooth. Thank you. And if something starts being not smooth, it's not that I didn't try or think of it. It's that Some things just seem to stop working consistently, and I don't know why. This is 70% Apex. It looks super fucking blue right now. This is 2 layers of ceramic in one film, and in 70% there's like no added color. But again, this is 70%. So once this goes outside, you're not gonna see any of that color. It's when we're layering it on top of each other. Why do you cut when you have a plotter? Because I get a lot of questions about hand cutting. And I like knowing how my patterns are going to fit. So there are times that I will just cut the whole thing out on a plotter. This is a good vehicle to cut out on the plotter. But like yesterday, let's do it today on this. Although it's very thick. Like, this is a 2mm film. At least they say 2mm. I swear this is thicker than Pro Nano. I should put another thing of Pro Nano on here and just see. It's like cutting out poster board when it's doubled up. Okay, so when we rolled down this rear door, what did we see yesterday? We saw this whole edge come out. So my side edge is just here. As soon as the glass starts tapering back inwards, I'm not going to cut into that. So just here. And we'll shift it back over. This you can cut still at an angle. But look at the inside and see what the door is actually doing. The seal comes down some. Not exactly the same curve that's going on here. So like you could curve it some, but I wouldn't necessarily follow this entire curve right here. But it's 70. Would you see it short of the seal? Probably not. You can never push it down the seal? No, you can go in the seal. The seal will scrape up against the tint every time the window rolls up or down. So it's not that it's for sure going to ruin the film, but there's a chance that it'll peel a window. It's just another potential failure point. I think I need to hit a switch. No? Is this switch just broken? Oh, no, it's fine. Okay. Do you wear a tool belt? Yes, I do. It'd be pretty cool if I could just summon them, though. How did Tint X do in the tank? It's still in there and it looks fine. The only thing I want to do is increase it from like 100-watt IR or mercury bulb to like maybe 150. It'll just be much stronger UV. You should buy the machine that does pre-cutouts. Would this be a good one? How long has it been in there? I think over a couple weeks at this point. We had a tint class last week. It was in there. I want to say I got it in there like near mid or beginning of the week. So a little over 2 weeks now. And I haven't shut it off. There's been times that it's run out of water, so there's been less humidity. There's been times that the heat bulb has been on for a much longer time. But yeah, still looks good, still holding up. I haven't checked it today, but like yesterday, it was fine. Ordered some OptiGlide. Nice. It's good stuff. Okay, so this one, we can arc it up a little bit if we want to, but we don't have to do it much. But yeah, this is all just refining our arc. What does it look blue? This is 70%, and it's 2 layers together. There's essentially no coloring. So you're seeing, like, actual ceramic more than anything. But watch. That's 2 layers together. And then we'll separate it. And so there'd still be, like, a very light blue tinge to it. You see that? But it depends on like what you put it up against. And when this is outside, it's so light, you're not going to see anything. The cameras always like really exaggerate the colors, but there's no doubt about it. Like that's fucking blue. But you'll see that with like every film company and manufacturer. It's like there's always some type of like tinge or hue. It's very hard for anybody to do completely neutral. There's always like trade-offs. It's getting better. It's always getting better. But there's always like some type of trade-off. Oh, this switch is just a little funky. Yeah, this is 70. So we're doing 70 over the rear, 20 on the front, and then 50 on the windshield. Best film for somebody getting into tinting? I mean, I always thought a good one to just like, because you're going to throw away a lot of film. T-View I always felt was pretty good for just like sheer practice. I'm from Thailand. I learned how to tint cars from your videos. They're awesome. Thank you so much for creating these tutorials. Oh, I appreciate that a lot. That's super cool to hear. 3M Tent. They making campers now. Uh, 3M. Good on architectural. Very competitive in that space. Not so much in automotive. Just a way higher price of a film for what it is. I talk about this a lot. Brands are not going to make your business amazing. They might have a program that'll help you. Your business still needs to stand on its own. But a lot of those recognizable names, they're recognizable for a reason. They've put a ton into marketing and presence. So everybody thinks that they're substantially better. Dollar for dollar, you're not necessarily getting substantially better performance in any way when you're going with like a tier right below it. You're saving money by not going with that brand. Branding with window film just doesn't matter as much. It's really helpful for certain businesses, don't get me wrong. There are people that, hey, I want to get my car tinted. They start doing a little research. They see everybody talking about like XPEL or 3M or Lumar. Those are going to be your big recognizable brands. Every single one of those roles are probably 50% more cost-wise to the shop. You're not getting 50% more performance. Not a chance. You're not even getting better films. Which is why I really like GeoShield. GeoShield's just less recognizable. But they've become more recognizable. And therefore their prices have also gone up some. Along with just everything getting more expensive. It's just kind of how it is. They're growing up. Honest opinion of Tint X film. The only film that I've liked from them was the Pure Max. And it comes with this big asterisk of, I don't know how long that shit will last. I'm nervous that it would just bubble. I've tried a lot of films, and there's lots of manufacturers that promise the world, and then the film fails, and they're just like, oh, it must have been a bad roll. It could be this, it could be that. Oh, we had a problem, but it's been fixed. So it's just like you hear that a lot, and you just don't know. But their cheaper films were definitely hazy. Their Cool Max is definitely hazy. And then you get up into, what, Megamax? And the price of that is like the same price as C2 ceramic. So I would expect that one would be perfectly fine too. But if I put it on customers' cars, I would just be nervous. That's all. And I would like a way to figure out if that's really the case or not. And that goes with like any less expensive film. Because it's like I don't pay for Geo because just I like Geo and want to pay for Geo. It's just I feel if I go any less, because I know a lot about the company and where the films come from and whatnot, and it's like, okay, I feel better about that stuff. How much do you charge per car ceramic all the way around? So we have two different ceramics. This one is going to be our most expensive. This all the way around with the windshield is $650. Did you start the company? Yes. How did you start? Out of a garage. I had been tinting for quite a long time. And then I really just wanted a place to continue doing videos. So I started that out of a home garage while I was still doing mobile work. And then we had a tool store. And then the tool store has just grown over the years. So I had to move out of the house. City didn't want me to tint out of the garage. They spoiled all the fun. So I moved into here, and then back in 2012, used Lumar. Yep. First film I ever tinted with was Lumar. Some of these film companies should send you samples of different types of film. I don't get that many. But I got a box of X-Bell, Ultrafit, there's Lexan, there's Helios, there's some Global, there's some, something with an R, there's Scorpion right there. They do, or they'll call. And what really makes it difficult is like a sample just gives you a surface level look at a film company. You do not know what it is like to use that film until you live with that brand. So that's what's really... Do you know, yeah, like UV-Ron, do you know that brand and how? Yeah, I know the surface level, like put it on a few cars, tried it, used it. It had a lighter glue than I was used to. Shrinking anything but the Pure Max. Like the Pure Max just needed more heat, but it was okay. It's not good to learn on, but it's okay. But there's so many companies that have a film in a box and you know nothing about where that film comes from, how long it's gonna last. All you can really test is how much heat does it block, what are the price points, how clear it is, what shades does it come in. And then when you start living with the brand, then you know what ordering from them is like. How long does it take to get orders? Does everything arrive okay? If there's an issue, do they take care of it? How long does it take them to take care of it? If I have a warranty, what do they do? I've had companies just give us runarounds on warranties. Then they change their formula. Yep. I'll keep pounding this one. ASWF was one of the worst fucking film experiences I ever had. Company is utter garbage. Someone's always hating on someone over something. That's so true. How do you like Global? Global let X-Bell eat their lunch. awesome film, which is a big reason why I started with GeoShield in the first place. 2 of their films came from that manufacturing facility. Global's got a great reputation. Global was the most talked about window film at the time. Like, if you wanted a solid film and you're just like not sure what to go with, dude, so many people recommended Global. And then Expel swooped in and ate their lunch. Global just fell asleep at the wheel on marketing and branding. Global is the house brand of Gwari, a manufacturer in India, and they manufacture films for a lot of companies. Some films get a few lines from them, and quite a few will source from Gwari and a few other manufacturers. Expel, XR Plus, Gwari. Good film. So, I've got nothing bad to say about Global, other than they lost the grip on the market. But if you just need a good film and you're not sure what to go with, yeah, Global's great. But, see, this is where window film has kind of changed over the years. It used to be just like a good film in a box. Now, we're seeing, oh, this switch is genuinely broken. So we'll use this one. But there's a lot more ecosystem in window film companies now. So if you're a window film company and you don't have some kind of like attached program, like I just heard, I think I saw some comments saying High Tech now has like a CRM for all their dealers. Union has an ad agency attached to it. Expel is just a juggernaut in advertising and marketing, and they got a lot of other products and try and create a very Apple-like experience. They even got the film in the Tesla checkout, essentially. So I saw this firsthand. I was getting a Model Y, and one of the first options when you reserve your Model Y is, would you like to get Expel window tint or paint protection film? Here are some local shops. And I think that's an opt-in program, because there's some shops that are closer that did not pop up. There's like a Tint World, and there was 2 other locations that were farther, but I got a few Expel locations that are much closer that just didn't. So I don't know what's going on there. But you see the same type of thing in like the electronic space and a lot of other markets. It's like, you know, it's not just an iPhone. It's an iPhone and a watch, and how do all those things play nicely together. Companies come out with their own ecosystems. All right, so we're gonna get this up here. Tuck this into the side. Sorry, there are a few comments there. I can't see my monitor right now. But there was a couple I wanted to answer. But I forget what they were. Tuck this up. Don't stick yet, don't stick yet. There we go. Trying to see 70% right at the top edge. Whew. It's nice. Go into your installs. That's creepy. And flattering? I use Tint Slip for soapy water. I have a 3-gallon keg. And I typically add 3 ounces of soap when I fill it up. That's not an exact measurement. I tend to go heavier. So if I do like 3.5 and do less water, there's no issues on most vehicles. Just because we're in warmer weather now, and then you can see like even this. Like what is this grabbing on? There's nothing here, but you see that right there. It's stuck. It's literally so it gets so annoying. It's not that big of a pinch there, but it's a really good illustration that like there's nothing there. And it just, watch. I'm gonna have to pull this back a little bit. There we go. And now we can tuck it in. I'd say like my biggest frustration with Geo overall is that type of tack. It's like it was sprayed plenty. But every, like here and there, you just get these spots that for whatever reason will just freeze. There was no pressure. That's just how it is. I use Tint Slip. It's a good soap. But I've had that happen with every soap mix that I've mixed up together. Doesn't matter if I add more. Doesn't matter if I use a different soap. It's just Geo is very tacky. Any advice on why my film won't shrink? It will. They all shrink. It takes practice, though. Window film is very touchy. People are talking about 7th gen. It's still a detergent. I'm not sure why people are recommending that. Like saying Dawn, don't use Dawn, but 7th gen is okay. It's still a detergent. It's a dish soap. It might just be less aggressive. Are you using the meta glasses? Yes. But I'm not streaming with them. They're for catching clips while I'm working. And if I want to ask it what I want for lunch. Something happened to the live. We'll start it again. Thank you for letting me know. Here and there, TikTok has this like captcha that pops up. And if you don't catch it, they end your live. They just want to make sure you're in front of a computer, which I'm not, so I've given up on trying to catch it. It's fine. So we just restart it. What's a good reasonable price film for beginner? Was going to use Walmart film to try. Walmart film isn't great, but like if you just want to just get some film and just try tinting to see what it's like, yeah, sure, go nuts. If you want a lot of film for your money, that's just good for practice. T-View on Amazon is under $100 for like a big roll. That's like impossible to beat. The audio's louder and more clear on TT. Huh, I wonder what settings are there. That's weird, because it's the same system. Love streaming. What's the temp set on your heat gun? Just put the heat guns as hot as they go. Temperature doesn't matter. You just need the heat gun to get really hot. The way you figure out what temperature that you need is by looking at the film and seeing how it reacts. So you start farther out and you just work your way in, and then once you see the film starting to shrink, keep it at that position. But that changes. So when we get to the windshield, you'll see. We're going to tint the windshield on this as well. The white strips on the sides are tape. It's our seal guard. It helps keep dirt from running back out. And then so does this gel too. What's a good plotter? What's your budget? I think the best value, there's two good routes to go. If you want a better machine, you can find a lot of really good deals on Marketplace. But look for Graphtex, Roland's, or Jags. Also Vinyl Express. If you can find a Vinyl Express that's, I don't know what the difference between that and a Graphtec is. Now, there's definitely cheaper plotter brands that you can buy new, but the thing about plotters is they are very well built. The nice ones are super well built, and they generally do not just go bad. So if you find something that's got like a year or two of use on it, my dad's shop still has a Graphtec that's been running since like 2005. They're all just made to last. But you can buy a Jag new, like a 40-inch Jag for, I want to say $3,500. The Graphtec's gonna cost probably about $5 for like the same size. But it's funny, most people, including me, just get an FC 9000 because it's the best, most used machine. But it's completely overkill for window tinting. Like, there's so many little extra features on that machine that we just like don't even know of. Like, there's a mode called tangential cut, or a setting in there, because it's like, it's a cutting machine. It's just, people use it to cut stickers and graphics and stuff all day long. So it'll just like, they'll print out massive rolls of stickers. And then they'll just have that, like they'll have their printing machine print, and then they'll have their cutting machine, like a Graphtec, just cut out hundreds of thousands of stickers every day. So you have a lot of extra little settings and stuff on that machine that we're just like, I don't know, just put it in and set the force and the speed, and then it just cuts. But one of the reasons to use a better machine is window tint's very touchy. The liners are super thin. So you have to cut through the film and not the liner. So you at least need that cutting surface to be perfect. We have a US cutter, SE2 works perfect. Yeah. The workhorse machines, Titan machines, SE cutters, they'll all do the job and they'll cut well. There's just a few extra features that come on a Graphtec or a Roland or a Jag that you just don't get. Also, roller positions are better on those machines too. So like, I always had a Graphtec at some of the places that I tinted at before having my own. And every machine that I had this, and I didn't realize until I got a workhorse that they didn't have this. Presets are nice, but I think one of the biggest things is a longer grid roller. So this lets me put the film and match it up with every small roller on this machine. Why is your mouth not moving? He's not even talking. Oh no, I've been found out. I'm up in the rafters somewhere, just pulling some strings on this puppet. Is it really delayed that bad? No, it should be pretty spot on. At least I hope it is. Because they can get out of sync. Sound is bad. Overly delayed.
It doesn't seem that bad.
So here.
Oh, yeah, it is, man.
Oh, so you guys are getting a different, oh, okay, hang on, I know what's going on. You're not this one. Add. This one is what you are. Okay. Now, I get it. There we go. I figured it out. I had no idea that they were like that. Oh, you know what? No, we're okay with this. Let's do this. Let's use up the rest of this one, if I got enough, which I think I do. This is a 40. So the problem that I had with and like you just got used to it. It wasn't a complete deal breaker, but a really nice feature is this. Longer grid roller. So I have a 40-inch roll. See where this is right now? This roller is here. This one is here. This is set up for a 36-inch roll right now. All I have to do is scooch this roller here, and now it's completely fine for a 40-inch roll. On some of the other machines, they're all set up for vinyl, which means that you can use a lot more grid rollers in a lot more positions. Window tint, we just need a grid roller on one side and the other side. So we can't put any rollers in the middle. And this top roller always has to line up with a roller underneath. Do you mind hand cutting for people who don't have a plotter? We hand cut every one of these doors. I'm not gonna do the rear one though right now. Just because this is gonna be so much faster. I have to like put this up, I have to mask off that, or I can cut a piece of film and cut it on the inside. No matter what, it's just gonna take far longer for me to hand cut that than it is just to plot it out. This was what, a 16 f150? It's like this one, isn't it? Oh, this is super cab. I don't want a super cab. It took me the longest time to know what the difference between a super cab. It doesn't look like that though. Let me just make sure. I can't see it right now. All right, where are you? 416. It looks more like this one here. So that's goofy. It's probably the same. Slider, add. I know it's not the shorter one. It's just like the front end still look like the older model. And then 40. And we can stack these here. Oh, look at that. That's so beautiful. Off of one piece. And then we're going to change our conditions. Are you using meta glasses? Not to stream with. I get a phone for streaming. I do have the glasses though. Oh, I forgot. We could ask Meta some stuff. We can ask Meta how to tint. Why are you switching the conditions and the blades on the plotter? So I have one set up for a carbon and single layer ceramic, C2 carbon and C2 ceramic. Both Apex and Pro Nano are thicker. We could try and get the blade to be at the perfect distance, so all I have to change is the pressure. But what I found is I just like having this blade cut out the thicker films and the other one cut out the thinner films, just to try and keep a little bit more consistency. Because I like no snags. And then if we have the blade, you know, it's really easy to have the pressure wrong, to forget to flip conditions. And so that can wreck both the blade and the cut strip. Ta-da! So on the off chance that we screw up the blade, we have the other one that we can just flip to. But I've used plotters. We've got them dialed in before to like never switch. And it just, like, dude, when you cut 3 different types of films, they're all going to be a little bit different. And sometimes even like the darker shades would take a little bit more pressure than the lighter ones. So it's just like, I don't know. No matter how we had it set up, it would seem like some would just like snag, and then you just have an off day with your machine, just whatever. I just want to take as much of the guesswork out of it. Different degrees? No, same degree blades. With window tint, you use the lowest degree possible. I think those are 30. I've used the expensive Graphtec blades. They're like $100. They come in a case like this. And what's up?
The meter, the 2-piece one.
I think it's over on the other table. With PPF, you use like a 45 degree blade. But I used the expensive Graphtec blades. I still have the Graphtec holders, but I've bought replacement blades on Amazon, and they work just fine. Why are you shrinking the back glass? Because I can. See, why do they do this? See, people can't clean back there. Fair enough. Thank you. No, all glass has a little curve to it, and it's perfectly fine to not shrink a lot of these. But I snap shrink so much, and it only takes me a few seconds to shrink a lot of things. So I tend to just, if it's that size window or bigger or has a little extra curve to it, I generally just shrink everything a little bit, at least. What force and speeds? So this just depends on your machine. I have the force set to 15 on the carbon and C2 ceramic, and then it's 17 on the other films. However, some machines just show grams, and I think you could have some little tolerance difference in every single one of those machines. So just use that as a guide, as like a rough guesstimate. That is a clay bar. Ding, 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 ding. So froster lines, they show this. Like they're copper or something that tarnishes. See? So it's just nice to clean that off some before we actually tint them. And it does a really good job of like pulling any little bits out along the lines. Helps them stick better. My gel. Oh, it's on the other side. The green card is a tri-edge card. So tri-edge X. I already let this window sit too long, so I'm going to sweep it off one more time. I'll use a clay bar over defroster lines pretty much exclusively for that. I used to use them a lot more. They're really good cleaning tools. When you have a laminated door, it does a really good job of kind of like pulling out a lot of dirt that gets stuck in that glass sandwich. Sizing is spot on. That's good. Also, when I got a vehicle with a little bit more age on it, you got so much more tiny little pieces of dust and dirt that just like build up around the edges. So I especially want to prevent a finger from popping up. So like even though you don't have to shrink, sometimes like if you don't shrink, you'll still have a miscellaneous finger pop up. I want to avoid that as much as possible. So I could get it to lay down just fine without shrinking it a lot of times, but I tend to still see sometimes it keeps so much tension on it that it prevents a lot of times any fingers from popping up. Versus keeping it flat with a little curve and then trying to stretch it out, you can have a finger or two still pop up. But yeah, there's just a lot of like natural dust and dirt, debris that's on this thing, just built up over the years. I was having problems with a 93 Toyota sliding glass yesterday. Is that on like a Tacoma or something? That does not sound fun. Some of those old trucks, Tacomas, what is it? Tacoma's the bigger one, or is it Tundra? What's the little Toyota truck? Is it the Tundra? What's the clay bar? It's to help clean the defrosters. See that? It is the Tacoma. Okay. Stuff like the Tacomas, the Rangers, they give you like no fucking space. So, dude, when I say they give you no space, so you see the border up here? This is an okay amount of space. This is a ton of space. I got like all this frit border to just tint over. Super easy. Some of those trucks, they give you like zero margin. They're just like a teeny tiny lip. So if your pattern's not perfect, you're either gonna have like a gap or it's gonna butt into that. I remember those not being super fun. I've only had a few. We don't get very many Toyota trucks. Is that clay bar necessary? No. Not necessary, just nice. How do we get a GeoShield towel like that? I don't know if they're making this one anymore. Yeah, soap solutions on the spray hose. The bottle is gel. The gel just helps prevent debris from rushing back in. Are you a millionaire from tinting? No. Opinions on one-ply tint over two. One-ply doesn't mean for sure that it's cheap film. There can be good films that are one-ply. I don't think you can pack as much in a film if it's only one-ply. So keep that in mind. But if somebody is selling a film and they're in the title, they say one-ply or two-ply, that generally means it's a really cheap film. It's just not how film is sold. Film is in 1.5 or 2 mil thicknesses, but nobody like shops for films that way. Apex started as a 1.5 mil film, and it moved to being a 2 mil film in order to have better clarity. Solar gourd. I tried Solar Guard not too long ago. Thinner, it's all right. I'm not in love with the films, but their color tones are really nice, and the performance is just like, this is what I mean a lot when I say a lot of it's in brand, and Solar Guard's like doesn't give a shit about their brand right now. They do and they don't. They're just happy to exist. They're focused on being a film manufacturer. They're way less focused on being an actual film brand. So they have 4 newer lines of film. Vortex, Zenith, Solstice, and where is it? These. Vortex, Zenith, Endeavor, and Solstice. That's what it is. Their pricing genuinely does not make sense to me. But that's also why don't tell anybody I'm telling you this. I hear they only have one person that is in charge of all of the marketing for the company. Oh my God. But these ones, Solstice is going to be the entry. Endeavor is going to be their entry ceramic. Vortex is going to be more of a C2 ceramic upgrade. And then Zenith is going to be like their Apex competitor. This is like $850 a roll. This is like $550 a roll. This is somewhere in the neighborhood of $350 a roll, and this is in the neighborhood of like $250 a roll. So you go from $250, $350, $550, $800. Like you have big gaps in there, and there's just like other films that fill in those gaps and price points much better. So I think you could have a pretty competitive entry level with them, but not upgrades. What is the best tint gel? I can tell you my favorite. OptiGlide. That's my favorite. Zenith is going to be their best, but like I put these on a heat lamp. Zenith is $850. Apex is $650. Zenith and Apex are basically on the same page as far as like heat performance. Vortex was very similar to C2 ceramic. How do you tell if a tint shop is pushing a good product? I wish I had a really good answer for you. Generally, just reviews, price points. If you're shopping at like the lowest end in your area, don't expect it to be good films. If you have a mid to higher, then they're probably carrying a good product. Now, the next question is like, you can carry a good product and just have shit skill. So you kind of only have, and it's honestly a little less about product and more about the actual shop that you're going with. Like, how good are they at installing? Because they can take a shitty film and do a good job with it. but then it's probably not going to last. On the flip side, I could take an expensive film and just do a mediocre job. I used to be a Solar Guard dealer until they shut down the Houston depot. Expand. I'm curious. So they have like a distribution facility there that they closed down? I always like hearing backstories on film companies. But yeah, Solar Guard. I'm seeing the same thing a little bit with Suntech. Like, if you're gonna carry Lumar or Suntech, I don't know why you would carry Suntech over. I should say, I don't know why you'd carry Suntech over Lumar. But there was somebody in our group who asked for display boards. And they sent him some display boards. And they were like the OG display boards. And he was just like, do you have anything newer? No, they did not. They just like have a 10-year-old Bentley on it or whatever, and just this like genuinely outdated design. And you look at that stuff and you go like, wait, what? Why? And there just are some of those bigger, this is what happened with Global. You have some of those big companies that have too many people that have to get into a meeting and are just out of touch and don't find it important until somebody is taking market share away from them at like a significant scale. And that's what happened to Global. Global was very well recognized. They just slept on their branding, continued business as normal, fell out of touch with the market. XPEL swoops in, starts stealing all their fucking dealers. And a lot of the time, it was a story of, do you want to use Global but with better branding? Use this. So that's why they grew so fast. It was like a film you could trust under a better brand. Why wouldn't you use it? So some of these bigger companies, they just like, they lose touch. It's just business as usual if you want to get anything done in the company. There's too many committees that have to get together, and they'll give you like a dozen reasons why not. Do you cut the film inside the guide tape or outside the guide tape? You cut it on the tape. The main purpose of the tape is to keep the glass safe while cutting. Isn't Global and XPEL both manufactured by Guari? Yep, that's why they stole their lunch. So like they wouldn't be completely upset, but Global's a bigger company and has a lot of divisions. So Global has distributors with territories. So you have like for example, Solar Control. They're Global's southern distributor. If I'm trying to order Global from that distributor, they won't sell it to me. They will refer me over to a northern distributor. But the problem for that company is they are 100% dependent on Global staying relevant. So on the one hand, they have a really easygoing business of, we keep inventory, we ship it out. Company refers us all to business in these states. But then that company falls asleep and lets another one take over, and now that distributor starts losing a ton of business. So while the manufacturer doesn't necessarily get hurt, their brand does, and then they start losing. Like, XPEL doesn't have to stay with that manufacturer. They could switch in a heartbeat. They could make their own manufacturing. So I heard firsthand just from people. But that's also why you saw high tech kind of come up and out. Is because it was a distributor move to stay relevant, and they took branding into their own hands, and it was a very smart, good move for them. Is it worth learning how to do it yourself? It can be. If you just want to tint your own car, and that's it, not necessarily the best use of your time. Because it can take a lot of time, effort, and money to do a good job. But if you're looking to do it on more than your own car, then sure. I paid $700 for ceramic on my 01 Prelude and $100 for removal. I tinted a Prelude. I think it was like a 99. It was that same style. That car took me all day. I think I charged right around that. A Prelude is not the same thing as an F-150. It's not the same thing as a modern car. It's an older, not crazy difficult, but definitely a unique car. But also having to do film removal is crazy. Like, that makes everything more annoying. Yeah, two-door car. Yep, two-door car. But that car took me 5 to 6 hours to do. I had one last summer. Here and there, I just get asked about older cars. I don't get a lot of them, and I would prefer not to do them. It's not that I can't do them. It's how much of my time do I want to spend wrapped up in that car. But if they took as long as this one did, like, I'd do them all the time. I don't care. Same, can't stand tint removals. Yeah, so, like, if you're not a window tinter, just hearing an old car, high price, like, why is that car so expensive? It's old. The car doesn't cost very much money. It's like, well, that makes it worse for us, actually. New, clean stuff. But when you get into, like, early 2000s and before, you have so many more oddball glass shapes in vehicles. They just did weird stuff. Just look at all the 90s and 80s cars. And then look at today's cars. There's a lot more uniform windows and seals and stuff, and they just didn't do that back then. They did things to annoy us. What does this do? This tints the windshield. I should move this back over here. So we're doing 50 Apex on this one. No, this is the customers. Heat shrinking is going to start now. What's it use? Oh, just to make it harder to see out of. Is Apex the same as GeoShield? Yes, Apex is the most expensive film from Geo. I thought you could only tint the inside of the windshield. Just keep watching. You're the reason I ordered Geo to learn to tint. It's a good film. How hot should the heat gun be? Okay, heat gun, you want it as high as it can go. So the way that you figure out how much heat is, I want to see the film reacting. I don't care what this is. This could be 1,000,000 degrees, or 50. I don't know. So I'm going to keep the heat gun out, and then we're going to look. We're going to move the heat gun closer, and ooh, I see it shrinking. So I'm going to hold it at that distance and just go back and forth. But I don't care about what the heat gun is at, just as long as I see the film actually shrinking. That's what I'm looking for, and I shrink it down until it forms this wave pattern. Have you ever had trouble with a Dodge truck? When I had it hot, I was burning the tint. Yeah, and if you stick your hand in a fire, you will burn your hand. But if you have an appropriate distance from a campfire, it's cozy. So you got to figure out what is the cozy temperature. And that's not an exact degree. Because with anything, I can put my stove on medium. Pan will get hot, but it can continue to cook and burn the food, right? your oven will turn off and on to maintain a certain temperature. So with the heat, it's like it's never just like, I set my heat gun to 700 degrees and always stay this far away from it. No, it's always changing. You just gotta watch what the film is doing. So you watched it burn, essentially, is what you did. It's like you gotta see the film, move the heat gun towards it, and now it's shrinking. If I just hold it here or push it closer and stay in the same spot, I'm gonna watch it burn. But that's when I move it. How do you know the tint is shrunk? Because we're looking for this wave pattern. I'm just looking for that pattern. All right, we'll make a video on the other side. Let's see. Where is my... Okay, a lot of people have shrinking wrong, or at least smoothing out the film. So when you shrink a corner, you have these swoop waves. You'll have waves that'll go sideways, and some will curve out this top edge. So this is shrunk right now, and to some of you that are just starting out, will not necessarily see this as shrunk. But if we pull it flat, like this, pull it from here and here, see how that flattens out a lot? The same thing is happening with our card. We shrink the film, you see those waves, and then we want to push them out, both the side and the top. And all we're doing is flattening out the film. We're not manipulating in some weird way. We're not just pushing out air for the sake of doing that. It's just we're taking that shrunk film and we're just pulling it flat. All right, so we'll go to the other side. F150 front windshield. We're gonna shrink this top corner here. And a lot of people get confused on what they're even doing. So we'll just back up a little bit. We'll leave it loose, pull it tight in the center, take the edge of our card, flatten that out so we have all the fingers going out the top. Ignore the bottom for now, we don't care about that. So we're gonna take the heat gun and we're gonna gradually move it in until we see the film reacting. As soon as we see the film reacting and shrinking, we're gonna keep that distance and just move it across the window. We can just go back and forth. And I'm waiting for the film to do this little ocean wave pattern. Like you're on a beach and this is your shoreline. Your shoreline goes all the way around. And if this were little ocean waves, you take your card, you match it up with that wave, and you push it forward until it basically disappears into this loose film that's still wiggling. See that? That's not shrunk film. So don't push that down. Now go. I know you want to, but you'll notice these, they angle this way. So when I push these, look, I got this little swoop forming. And this is what people get really wrong about top corners, is they take this and they just make it flat. You don't want to do that. You want to flatten this out over the window, lift it up, scooch it out this edge, flatten that back down, and that readjusts this top corner. And then we just do the same thing again. Take our heat gun, gradually move it in. See the film reacting? It's a little closer than it was in the middle. But I don't care what the heat gun temperature is as long as it's hot. I want to see the film doing something. So we'll go another few inches. We got a nice little ocean wave pattern there. Then we're going to start carting this up. Just match your card up with what that's doing. Small swoop here. Flatten that out. There you go. But too many people take these top corners and they push inwards. The heat gun shrinks the film, and the card is just an organization tool. But essentially what we're doing is we're just trying to brush the film forward to stretch it out over the window so we can see what we need to shrink next. This is how it's going to lay on the inside of the glass. So if there's a significant amount of tension, it's not going to lay flat. If it wasn't shrunk enough, it's going to crease. So now you can see my heat gun is within like an inch or two. Then we're going to just card this forward. And we're done. You'll notice if I lift this up, I still got a bunch of ripples that go across like this, and some go like this. So if I take my hands, I can just flatten that out and pull it flat, or I can take my card. That's what we're doing with the card. Sorry guys, I was trying to record a video too at the same time. So look forward to seeing that. It's hard to do both. I have Meta. No, I wasn't talking to you, Meta. Meta. Oh yeah, see, it didn't pop up that time. Meta, sorry. Hey Meta, what's the main difference between carbon and ceramic tint? That wasn't completely accurate about ceramic. Why did you say ceramic was reflective? That's all. It also said that carbon had a matte finish, which isn't true either. I was just curious what it would actually say. Okay, so we're cutting out on the tape. What would be the cause of tint bubbling? Cheap tint, bad materials. Nothing to do with the defrosters themselves. I mean, you could say maybe it was the soap that they used. But films are put under extreme conditions all the time. Your car just sitting outside is a lot of abuse. Your cars get extremely hot. There can be a lot of humidity. That is all stuff that can make films fail. So just like paint gets dull and fails and cracks, like anything that you put outside just sitting in the sun is getting a lot of UV fading and heat abuse. So especially like your Florida states. The way that we remove window films are with steamers. So what is that? That's heat and moisture. So the polyesters can fade and bubble and go bad. The glues are the first thing that's exposed. So something that bubbles up is going to be a adhesive failure. What's with the jitter? I don't know why it does that still. Yeah, so we're cutting on the tape because the whole point of the tape is so I don't have to cut on the windshield anymore. See that? See how that's nice and don't crease. I shouldn't pull it. I should run over there. I'm not tall enough for that. So the tape was just outside the border, and I cut right in the middle of the tape. But as long as I was cutting anywhere on the tape, I wasn't cutting on the windshield. So that just keeps everything nice and scratch-free. But having it be white tape helps with then seeing the edges. I started my tinting business just watching your videos. Oh, that's awesome. Nice job, man. So one last thing we're going to do with a heat gun is just run it over the top. See that? That just popped up. And just make sure that there's nothing that wants to pop up. Can dirt cause the film to bubble up over time? Never say never. Maybe. But it's hard to say for sure. I don't think... largely dirt specks are not any type of direct cause for a film failure. They just might help a bad film fail because there's already a little bit of air under there propping the film up off the window. So in those spots, it then might fail faster. But if a film was going to bubble, my guess is it would bubble regardless if there's dirt there or not. Adhesives that just sit out in the sun all day, like they're just getting constant UV and heat abuse all day, every day. So when you really cheap out on materials, your chance of having a film bubble up or fade is just way higher. So on day one, my film might look the exact same as somebody else's, but one film might last longer than the other. I've had films go bad. It's not fun. Because then it's not just about that one car and that one film. It's like how many other windows was that tinted with? And like how many other comebacks am I going to have? Oh, it disconnected again. All right. We'll clean the windshield and we'll fire up the old. No, maybe we should just do it before. We should just go back over there. That's fine. So this is an F150 mirror, and I managed to get the mirror off, and it was the annoying one. But I spent a good like 10 minutes trying to get the mirror off before I went live. It's not fun. Sometimes they come off, and sometimes they just don't. There we go. But I think the best tool to have is some type of a clamp. Push down on that spring. Then you take away all the pressure from the glass. It's just far better. Any of the things that wedge in between the glass and the mirror puts like an excessive amount of pressure there and can pop it. I worked with somebody who used to do that, and he was like, this is the 1/4-inch socket. It's perfect. Until one day, like he had so many successful, like, this is magic. Comes off every single time. Never had a problem. Then one day, crack. What do you suggest as an alternative for glass aid? I sometimes do 95%. Oh, you do like a really dark, like 5% tint. It's very difficult to hand cut and see. So I take an LED light and I shine it through the top of the film, and I can still see that edge. Now there's some situations where I'm trying to get like so exact on my cut that I just won't use the tape at all. So on like an F150, on most windows that I deal with, like if I look at the inside here, I want to see how much room. So if my panel is right here on the edge, I have like no margin on that dot. So it has to be perfect. But if I have this type of margin all the way around, well, I could cut this 1/4 of an inch wider than I did already, and it would still be perfectly fine because I have enough like space all the way around it. But I'll use a nice sharp stainless steel blade, use light pressure and a little bit of crossing your fingers. I don't like to cut on glass unless I really have to, or I know that I'm cutting in a way that I just wouldn't have any issues one way or the other. So like this tab here, I might just trim that out before I get this put on the windshield. Oh, I wish this would tuck in a little bit better. There's like nothing for it to pinch into. We might use a rope with this one. Oh, this has that foam. Ew, that's annoying. How you doing? Tint Club Tint. I don't know. I'm not going to use it personally. I felt the same way about Tint Depot, though. It's not that Tint Depot had bad films. So I'm tucking in a rope along with being too short to... And I might pull this rope out. It just depends. So there's a foam strip at the bottom of this. It's out of my way, and it's an F-150, so I'm not really worried about water too much on here. But the towel doesn't have much to tuck into. Is Tint Depot global? Yeah, under, like, it's reverse branding. It's like, let's take a good product and put it in a whatever box. Why would I buy it? Like, I'll just get it as global if I want to carry global. But that kind of hollers back to earlier when we were talking about solar control. They're a global distributor, but they can only sell film in the lower states. So in order to be able to sell films beyond their region, so they put it under, they could sell it as whatever they wanted, just as long as it wasn't sold as global. So that's where the Tint Depot branding came from. And I think Tint Depot sounds too much like a Home Depot. So if I'm trying to be a professional shop, I'm not carrying that brand as that brand. That'd make no sense. But it shows. That's why so many people are like, well, what about High Tech? High Tech's the same fucking products, just under a High Tech name. But because they put it under a more professional brand, everybody looks at it differently. So there's a microfiber rope that I'm going to use to help catch the water. It's an F-150 windshield that we're going to be tinting. And there's like a foam strip at the bottom. So it's just kind of difficult to get the towel tucked in the way I want to. So we're gonna scrape and clean, the exciting part. I know everybody's tuned in for that. And then we're gonna install it. I always try and be really thorough about my windshields. They're not fun to have to redo. And since we're spraying water, it's really important during at least the cleaning part. I might just pull the rope out when I go to install the film, because putting these things in the way makes it harder to tint the windshield if you can't get them tucked out of the way. So what's the point of having something there to keep the windshield safe if I just have to then redo the windshield? That doesn't really make sense. So for the cleaning part, I could leave it there, and then I can make things a little bit easier and just take a bit of a gamble. So this is a razor blade. We're just gonna fuck up the windshield before we put an expensive film on it, is what Chad is probably thinking. Let's do the other side. I miss trucks having a bench. Those are the best, because then you just sit in the middle. Nice knees. Thanks, weirdo. Expel Prime CS film. That's going to be their color stable film. That's like GeoShield Pro Classic tier. That's their entry level. And it's no surprise, too. Deep dyed. Like, that's where you start seeing similarities between manufacturers. Does Expel have an actual carbon film? I don't think they do. But I'll let Chant answer that one. Some film companies will just take a dyed film and say carbon when it's actually just dyed. And some films will mix a little bit of dye in with carbon. That's what Avery did. Making it essentially worthless. There was no point to that. Tips on cutting out registration sticker. Can't you just remove them and have the customer get a new one? It just looks hacky. I don't know. I don't like it. We don't have them here though, so I don't have to think about it. There's no way around it. If it's a paper sticker that's going to dissolve, you just have to cut a square as close as you can. Can I get a pack of replacement scrub pads? The minis? The mini. No way. You got us mouse pads. Or did you find one? Mouse pad, or was that sitting somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. What soap do you use? I use this guy right here, Tint Slip. How long it took you to make 2 cars a day? We don't make cars here. I'm trying to think back. I didn't have much of a choice. From very early on, I had to do more than 1 car a day. And that's just because I was put under pressure from my dad's company. Because they're not making jack shit trying to pay me to only do 1 car in a day. So they paid me, or they had somebody train me, and then I was off to the races on tinting. You forgot to pay for the tint pad? You're right. I'm the worst customer. All right, let's sweep this off. Careful on this. So I would, I'd leave this up like this too much, and I'd come back with a squeegee and almost like gouge my wrists. There's an emo song in there somewhere. This is the most exciting part, I know. I used to do windshields inside of like 40 minutes. Half hour, 40 minutes to do a windshield. Now I just take too long. I try my damnedest to not have to redo a windshield. But I used to let stuff go or miss adhesive in like the lower corners and stuff. So I'd say I'm excessively thorough at this point. I'm in Europe, and these cars here are sometimes a pain. Yeah, you guys take the cake when it comes to pain in the ass cars. I'm sure you have a lot more BMW and Mercedes over there. BMW, Audi, and Mercedes. Like BMW and Audi / VW take the cake for some of the most pain in the ass cars, period. They're just annoying. I've got good old American manufacturing over here. That means loose tolerances on everything, boy. All right, let's go. Renault, Citroen, Peugeot. You know, I've never had any of them. I'd get asked from time to time, and I couldn't tell you anything about them. I just know they exist. Frankenstein? Yeah, no. No, thank you. Instagel seems to be marketed for PPF, but is it good for window film? Yeah, it's perfectly fine for window film. We were using it for quite a while. We still have it. It's just thinner. Camry, 5% on Monday. Nice. The Camrys are pretty straightforward. Do you love the sound of Mopar engines? No, because it usually means some dumbass ripping down the road when everybody else is going 40. They're trying to do 80. I kid you not, like every single day this week, we have seen a post of somebody rolling over in our city. Not in Detroit, in literally Sterling Heights. There's rollovers all over the place. And somebody yesterday fucking crashed into like a hair cutting place. They just drive like shit. So many Durangos, Rams. Your typical suspects. Chargers. Shit ton of Chargers. The occasional Alpha. My front Lexus windows were annoying, almost gave up. Lexus, dude, and they're Toyota. I don't know what it is about Lexus. Lexus just has some doozies. I have no idea why. They just do weird stuff. And they keep the same shitty backup system. A lot of their backup cameras look like an old CCTV system. They're just like so outdated. But then they do like the weirdest stuff with their windows. About to do my first windshield. I would just watch all the windshield videos that we do, my guy. We went through all the prep on this one. I'm going to do more prep on a windshield than I will a back window. Come on, just go down a little bit further. Get this on the side. And ever since I learned how to reverse roll windshields, I've been doing that ever since. So we'll get to about here, and I intentionally let the roll drop away so I can continue to unroll the liner out of the car. What's the other way to install the windshield? The only other way to install it is like the Frankenstein method. So you peel the whole thing and you just carry it into the vehicle. but a windshield is so much wider a lot of times, and it's at a steeper angle. So this is way more upright versus on like there's windshields that are perfectly fine to do that on, generally the smaller ones. Or if you have a second set of hands, somebody to just like grab the other side of the film, then you have somebody reach over here and somebody over there. Far easier, less steps. But when you're trying to do them yourself, I just find this turns out way smoother. It's just trying to manage the dirt. That can be kind of frustrating your first few times. But it's the process of it, I like it a lot more. It's way more consistent. Where I would, when I was carrying in a windshield, like Frankenstein, it was hard to get everything on the windshield smoothly. Because it keeps like flopping back. There we go. That's trimmed out. I forgot one more tool. Oh, here's my scrubby. Have you tried the yellow brush? Yeah, I have a couple of them. It's good. This works in the same way. It's just thinner. So I'll show you where that really matters. Down here. I can take this and I can go clean past the edge and squeegee all that, just brush out my water, and that's why I like that one. So let's go to the other side. Here. I don't want to scratch my window, so I've always been a little nervous of there potentially being some random little scratch from a bristle, but it's just the difference of using a squeegee versus a brush. So this does a really nice job of squeegeeing this out, and where I find makes it a little bit harder to reach, this one does a pretty good job here. They don't have much blocking the way, but this plastic is thicker. So when you're trying to get it behind a brake light and lower on certain windshields, it's just not going to be able to do that. And again, this is one of those products that was like offensively priced. Like, so it just like $40 for a brush that you could clearly buy for much less was kind of off-putting. This seems to just happen with certain products, and I don't understand why. making it look too easy. Am I? Buddy, I got a small toolbox up here at this point. I still need a Libman squeegee over here. We all were. Yeah, the really off-putting things is like, it's one thing, like, it's not the fact that a brush costs $40. It's like, it was very easily traceable that it's this brush, and it's like $4 in bulk. And somehow it's, in this retail store, it's now 40. Like, come on now. I'm definitely not against expensive things. But if it's just like marked up a shit ton for the sake of marking it up a shit ton, that's like, okay, come on now. Obviously, there's going to be some type of correction there. I'd still be trying to get the water out without the tint greasing. Yeah, you use one of the, like the green one we call the Slim Sweep. Or then the brush. I've seen this a lot at our classes. New people don't really understand squeegee patterns. And if I want the most effective way of getting this water off, it's this. I mean, there's also an argument for, like, I can do this. But a lot of new people will do, like, and then you look at that and you're like, what? So when you put a piece of film on the windshield, you want to make sure everything is just evenly distributed out first, and then just make overlapping strokes from one side to the next, top to bottom, or from the center out. And there you go. She's done. Middle out. Middle out compression. Why is the back window of a Volvo V50 SW difficult? This is Volvo. I don't know. Go talk to their engineers. They'll give you probably a laundry list of why it had to be made that way. So many manufacturers just make what tinters would consider a dumb decision, but I'm gonna squeegee that one more time. Would you trade this profession for anything else automotive? No. No, that's why we're still doing it. I could trade it for anything else that I wanted to do. There's just nothing else in automotive that I would want to do. I'd shared like I've done some PPF. I'd like to have that skill set without the work. I can do some of it. I suck at bumpers still, though. So easy and pays well. Oh, it's one of the few skills that still, like, dude, everything is being changed and gutted faster than ever right now. So it's not just about like what skill set there is today. It's like how long is that skill set going to be around for? Tinting, I think, is going to be around for quite a while. There's legal reasons for that. There's just a lot of reasons around it. Legal reasons, there's manufacturing. Because like if it was legal for car manufacturers to change it, they would just have the front doors tinted too and probably a light shade on the windshield. That's why there's so much factory privacy glass. Tinters were back in the day around for the time when they really didn't have any factory privacy glass and everything was clear. And when they started adding privacy glass, a lot of tinters thought tinting would go away. Like, oh, people are only going to do the front doors now. But it's like, I was lucky with this. Tinting is just still, it's the most searched automotive accessory for both new and old cars. There's just so much general demand for it. And it's just getting bigger. And then you have the added bonus of architectural. So we're all here doing automotive. There's a whole world of flat glass. Flat glass is massive. Buying an OptiGlide, is it a gallon? Yes, it's a gallon. Shout out, important sauce is pretty good, but I don't like the residue that it leaves behind. I'm surprised I didn't see anybody talk about that. Before I saw it. And I did it by accident. I sprayed it on a window. I got a video though. Hang on. Why did Apple make their gallery so confusing? This. So this was Instagel. So that's Instagel. So there's Instagel, OptiGlide, which dried completely clear, and then there was Important, which left all that behind. But you can see them, like, What? It's pretty nuts. So I was concerned. Alrighty. Oh, good. That's on the outside.
He got film. He got the wrong film. He ordered 3 rolls. He got 3 rolls, but one of the rolls he didn't order, and he didn't get a roll that he did.
Yeah, so they just swapped a roll by mistake.
Yeah. And then to make it complicated, he's asking me about switching it if he has to send the one that he actually rolled back.
Yeah, so Dylan can help take care of that.
Yeah.
But just write down what roll, like what the order number was, what the customer ordered, what he didn't get, and then what he wants in its place. Like what needs to be swapped out.
I'm hoping the Tint thing has a good AI summary for me.
You didn't write it down while you're talking to him?
I did. I just,
Oh, okay.
I kept track individually of the rolls that were missing, but
Gotcha.
words are hard.
How many cars do you do in a day? Oh, right now we schedule just like one a day. I hope I wonder if my GoPro shipped. I think it's supposed to ship by today. But I might be able to replace streaming from my phone with streaming from a GoPro again. What a flashback. How much is it for a whole car? Most are going to be in the range of $450 to $650. Just depends on the film that you go with. Missed a spot. No, not too bad. Definitely high for this area. But if I wanted to pick up some volume, I would just either be more aggressive on sales or be more price competitive. I do have that one spot right there. But now that's wiped off, we can check it over. We can freak out at every little water droplet. Nice. And I got to put the mirror back too. This fun one, you see that? We got to put this back up there. That's the easy part though. There's this tool by Equalizer for putting them back on. Highly suggest. This is really nice. Just make sure that you don't accidentally scrape the tint with this Ford mirror plier. But they just take all the pressure off of this like ball joint here. See this part? Like if you're wedging down on it, there's a chance that that could pop out. So you just want to be careful. So what we're gonna do is put this up here, get it mostly in place. And then we're gonna clamp. There we go. And now that is never coming back off. But this will work on both clip style Ford mirrors. I got this probably 8 years ago. It doesn't do anything to take off the mirror. That was a whole nother project. Somebody asked earlier why I didn't stream that part. It's because they don't know how it's gonna go. It's just stressful enough to try and get the mirror off. And I just have to throw some things at it until hopefully it comes off. But dangling a phone on my neck and trying to do that at the same time is not fun. It's a flathead screwdriver? No, that's the easy one. There's two, Bobo. So this Ford mirror is the easy one. This you can take off with a flathead. There is a harder one, which is up here on the windshield now, that has a clip with teeth on it. You have to compress that clip, and it's just very hard to get the right thing to compress that clip. Those ones, a breeze to take off. There's so many people in the group that get those confused, and it drives me crazy. They're like, look, I got off the Ford mirror today. Like, shut up. That's the easy one. But there's definitely tools out there. Some work pretty consistently, but if you hang around long enough, you'll discover not all Ford mirrors with that clip are the same. Some are very, very tight against the windshield, where a lot of them will just pop off. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. Except this little guy right here. Don't worry about that little guy. Oh, there's still a little finger there. How many cars do you do a day? Just like one? 2 if I'm trying to stress myself out. But it doesn't always go that way. I have a couple doors coming in on Monday. $7.95 for a whole car tint is major cheap. It depends on the shop that you are. It's more expensive than us. Do you ever have 2 people on a car at once? Yeah, but pretty rare, just the way that we schedule it. I'm not trying to be a busy shop. I've been a busy shop. If you look on the channel at some of the really old videos, I was at my dad's shop. We would generally do, I don't know, 8 to 10 cars in a day with a small team of people. Somebody pulls in the cars, wipes them off, plots patterns. I would typically do door windows. Somebody else would typically do the back window. We'd have a car in and out inside of like a half hour, 45 minutes. Nothing's getting masked off. It's just like in and out. Yeah. And it's a really good way to run a shop. I mean, you want to cover stuff up, but it's just volume. And the nitpicky problems that I look at, like, oh no, there's a little speck here, I gotta redo it. I'm not that crazy, but there can definitely be, like, if it's a little hair in most windows, that generally means a redo. On something like at my dad's shop, that was well, I hope the customer doesn't see it, let's keep going. Like, it's just volume. Yep, it'll dry out in 3 to 5 days. Have a good one. And you just hope they don't call back. But you didn't have time to care. You had that. Oops. Oh, no. Oh, cool. I held the... Wow, that was the first time Siri actually saved me. I picked up the phone, and I bumped the power button, and that should have been disconnect the video feed. But Siri popped on and was like, hey! Thanks, Siri. It's the first time you've ever been helpful. Like, actually. He dropped us. I'll throw you guys again across the shop. I got a bottle of invisible glass a long time ago. And I was trying to remember, like, why I was using Sprayway over invisible glass. And I remember why now. If there's soapy water, if there's like soapy water and your towel runs across it as you're trying to wipe off the window, the alcohol, I think, is what gets really like foggy and it smears really bad. But by itself, if you avoid all that and it's just dry, I think it's got alcohol in it. Makes it a really good glass cleaner. So it's less good when I'm tinting with it, unless I can avoid the water. Why is this guy trying to bless us? I don't know. But there we go. Let's wipe off the rest of these and double check our edges and be all set. I think he'll be pretty happy with this one. Should probably put in his headrest. Okay, and shout out to Plotter. You see, okay, you see those edges? That glossy overlap? You see how perfectly straight they are? Even if I hand cut, I'm gonna try and go faster, and then it's gonna be a little wavy. This one. So like, there's not really, cutting these out is very simple. It's just getting access to them. And you can either try and cut them out on the inside and your cuts will be a little bit rough, or you can shine a light through or glass aid the outside. But then every truck that I need to tint has a tonneau cover on it. And then you fold the tonneau cover up and then it like sits up to here. And then you have to jump in and out of the truck. It just gets annoying. So even in hand cutting these things, like you're not learning much else that you can't learn from cutting out your average quarter window. There's just like no complexity to a lot of these truck windows anymore. Where before, some would have like a latch on like the slider portion if it wasn't power slider. I just don't see those anymore. Some people do, but not me. Okie dokie. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank y'all for hanging out. I appreciate ya. What percent? If I don't take this out, I'm going to forget it. We did 50 on the windshield. 20 on the doors, front doors, and then 70 over the factory on the rear. He didn't want to darken that up at all. Alrighty, dudes. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate ya. Oh, good. Key's here. So now I can close this. That's a weird combo. No, it's not. I'll show you why. Then I'll end the stream. Wow. My God. That's crazy. Do you have the split meter?
Yes.
Oh, cool. So we can check with the inspector too. So we did a 20 over the front. That is going to be 17. And then the back metered at 22. So it was 22 originally. And now with a 70 over it, it's 18. And again, 17. 18, that's so close. That's why. So, if anything, they match better than if he didn't do anything on the rear at all. And now he's got a ceramic on the rear too, so. That's one reason why 70 is a thing. 70, 80, 90. Alrighty, you guys have a good one. Goodbye.